Skylanders SuperChargers. I know what you must be saying. Aren't you a little bit late to the party on this review with the new Skylanders game coming out in less than 2 months? My retort to that would be, I found this on sale for $10 a couple weeks ago, and I just couldn't resist. Heck, the Donkey Kong amiibo is worth that alone, sorta. I have some issues with that figure as well, but we'll get to that. I have bought every single Skylanders game that has come out. In fact, I bought Swap Force twice. The one thing that I hate about the series is that it's more gimmick than game, instead of just making it a compelling story and fun platforming. That's not to say there isn't fun platforming, but it's never the priority. Gimmicks wise, the first one was about the toys themselves. Then in Giants, the toys got bigger. Then you could swap bodies in Swap Force. Then all of a sudden you could trap enemies in crystals in Trap Team. So where do all great platformers go when they want to get edgy and cool? Vehicles, of course! I mean, they saw it work so perfectly in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Both games use their cars as gimmicks, and it's the worst thing about both of them. Luckily, it's only half the game in the adventure mode, because the parts without the vehicles were actually kind of entertaining. And the racing wasn't bad either, which I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, like I mentioned before, Donkey Kong this time around is a Skylander. He's slow but powerful in this game. His figure sucks though. It isn't positioned correctly, so oftentimes if you just place it, it'll just fall over, because he's a little top heavy. So you're going to have to set him down just right. Plus you also get a car, which is actually kind of cool. You can even roll it. So good job on making an actual workable item. Now before we get into the game itself, I think we need to address the 47-page user agreement you have to read and agree to before they even let you play the game that you purchased. I mean, this is nuts. Look at this. Why are there so many question marks in this? Do they not know what they're referencing in their own user agreement? Are you asking me to explain this to you? By clicking you accept, you represent that you are a question mark natural person question mark. Are you asking if I exist? What is an unnatural person? A clone? Are you asking if I'm a clone? I don't know. I assume I'm not. Are you making me question my own existence? Activision may update this program remotely without notifying you. What? Is this really a thing? I get patches, but why would this even be a secret? Look at these, more question marks. You just stated in a previous paragraph that these things exist. Now you're asking me if they exist? However, you only forgot 2 of the items existed, since the other one, buy and purchase, funny enough, is not something that you need clarification on. If you're brave enough to get past the user agreement, you can either play in the adventure mode or the racing. If you decide to play the adventure mode, the story picks up with Master Eon captured, and Chaos in control of the portals. Chaos is teamed up with an entity called the Darkness. So the Skylanders, for some reason, decide to create a brand new division of the Skylanders called the SuperChargers, which were just vehicles. It's funny that they didn't need vehicles in the other platforming games. However, this time the locations are just a little bit too long to run to, so they need to fly, dive, and drive throughout the levels. Only the car section was available in the base starter pack. With the plane and the boat levels, you're going to have to buy the figurines for them if you want to access them, just like the other gimmicks in the other Skylanders games. The vehicles controlled so loosely in the adventure mode. Being in them was the worst thing in the platforming sections. I hated it, but you had to do it because it was an essential part of the adventure part. And even some of the boss fights needed you to be in them. Those fights were such a drag. When you had to drive, it was just so tedious to move from one point to another. When you're not driving, the platforming sections were actually a lot of fun. They have different kinds of themes and ideas to them. You can upgrade parts and create new parts for your vehicles, so while they may seem slow now, in the future you can upgrade them to make them even more powerful. You can use money that you find throughout the levels, or you can pay real money for packs which randomly give you parts. I found it obnoxious that this was even an option, but welcome to the future of gaming. I know this type of microtransaction is becoming way too common. I just don't see this very often in the Wii U games that I review. I mean, I think the last time I remember that I saw this was when I reviewed the Devil's Third. Speaking of upgrades, just like the other games, you can get new moves for your Skylanders with the money that you collect in the levels. So you can customize the characters to your liking, just like always. You can race people online or offline. Well, in theory you can race people online, because since this is the Wii U version that we're talking about here, good luck finding someone to race with you. The racing part of this was actually quite good. However, the levels were locked until you complete the adventure mode missions, and if you have the correct vehicle to play it. I enjoyed the racing so much, it's a pity that this wasn't just the game. Why couldn't the publisher just ditch the platforming gameplay for 1 year and focus on the racing if they really want to do this vehicles gimmick? Because that's where the vehicles actually make sense to have them in a game. I guess the publishers actually realized that in the Wii version because that's just racing. In the racing mode, you can do normal races or time trials. There are 3 other modes, but you're going to have to buy the expansions to unlock them. Skylanders SuperChargers was okay. I didn't like the car sections of the adventure game, but racing with them was actually fun. But the racetracks were locked behind playing and finishing the adventure mode. Now, I bought this for $10, and for that price, yeah, it's completely worth it, just for the amiibo alone. If you can find it on sale for that price, yeah, go for it. If not, I would just skip this one. Well, thank you for watching my review of Skylanders SuperChargers. Why don't you check out my last review of Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Or you can check out my classic review of The Devil's Third. You can follow me at Twitter at Wiiviewer, where I post about Nintendo news and stuff about my channel. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day.